risk-free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher by donating. Call 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind.
PM show on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. Ladies and gentlemen, the star of the show here, Fred Dreyer, the new talk show superstar, the man who, besides his acting career and besides the sports career, the man is now here for the country's career and to try to get you to think for yourself. I have a question for you, Fred, because you've been kind of giving us your undeniable truths on what you believe here. And so here's my question. I watched this. I mean, I saw the great actor William Shatner. He was having a screening for the new movie, The Captains. And when I went to him, he said, this is really interesting. It's a battle for the country. I mean, he was intrigued, and he's a Canadian, intrigued by this struggle between the right and the left. And we're such a soundbite society, we don't really know who these people are. And he says this is really a battleground moment, as you have just equated here on this show. Now, all that being said, this battle was going on. Everybody, Harry Reid, this guy, I do believe he should take a long swim to the Catalina Island. This guy is a dudhead, and he's sitting there saying, I'm going to table that motion. He wouldn't even discuss these bills that first got to him in the Senate. How did it happen so quickly that everything just passed?
Well, remember, that's a very good question. But remember this: I said here in my preamble here that Paul Ryan and Connie Mack came up very early in this thing. Paul Ryan, a long time ago, came up with this bill, roll back government, and here's what it was: balance the budget, get rid of Obamacare, so forth and so on. And then here comes Connie Mack with a very realistic 2 and 2 is 4 bill that said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stop spending, we're going to cap it, and then we're going to take 1 penny out of every dollar across the board for 10 years. It's that simple.
That was it.
That was it. I'm paraphrasing it. There's always little nooks and crannies in there. But that's it. 2 great ideas. And is
that part of the 98% that was passed?
Yeah. Leadership, that's an oxymoron, Republican leadership. Boehner now and McConnell take a look at that and realize that Harry Reid said, "Don't send that crap over here because we're not going to pass it." So they running back and told these 2 guys, Connie Mack, and they told Paul Ryan, "Well, we can't put that forward because they're not going to pass it. Okay, let's just give up on it and come up with something new." When they should have said, "Oh yeah, Harry, watch this. We're going to vote for it. We're going to send it over to you. We're going to send it over to you when you turn it back to us. We're going to send it over when you turn it back again. We're going to send it over to you again. We're going to keep sending it over until you start reading it and understanding what it is, that this is the wish of the November election. This is the will of the people we represent. This isn't a politic. This is what the people have told us to do. So get off your ass and take a look at it and go down the hall and give it to Barry and tell him they keep sending this crap over here. Have him read it and wait till August 1st for him to tell you we're not going to do it. Then you'll get a better deal. Then you can somewhat tweak it, not compromise it, but tweak it. They didn't even do that. Boehner was scared to death of a soundbite. He was absolutely shaking in his boots. And people kept calling talk shows. They kept emailing. You couldn't get through on the phone. And here he was, people telling him, 68% agree with shutting the government down if necessary to cap this thing, to stop the spending. And what do? This jerk now pulls back both bills and now starts to redo it. And we come up with this dumbass bill that they sent over there. And Harry Reid was the one that said, make sure you send the right thing over to us because we only got 2 days
so
left.
Quickly. We've
only got 2 days left, you guys, so do the right job.
So are they working so the House is working for Harry Reid?
Believe me.
Harry Reid was the boss of the House.
There's no leadership. Republican Party does not represent the will of the people. It doesn't represent the will of the people. It's maddening. I watched this thing unfold, and it was just too convenient. this compromise word surfaced 72 hours. It came out of the president's office. He gave it to Harry Reid. Harry Reid gave it to Boehner, and Boehner took it back to his guys. And these guys with the real bill that represented the people were told to shut up. That's what we've got going on in Washington, D.C. That's not a politic. That's just observing and understanding what common sense is.
And now they've adjourned, and they forgot to fund the rest of the FAA. So the FAA only has partial funding. So now, what, plane's going to be crashing? Let's do some more of their scare tactics. And even, how can you be a professional legislator and not realize that you haven't funded a big portion of the country, the FAA, so at least it's going to be functioning?
These people are drunk. These people are down on K Street. They're hobnobbing with lobbyists. They don't really know. They're in a cafe, and someone comes in and says, hey, we forgot to plug in the toaster. Oh, yeah, well, have someone else do it for us. You know, they have no idea at all that the American people are out here and are starting to wake up, and they are starting to wake up. They have such contempt for the American people and its belief system, its core belief system. And this is a center-right country, not a left-of-center, extreme left-to-the-wall country like this guy wants to make it. 66% of the people that voted for Barry were the independents and the liberals. And all of those independents now are waking up. And if half of them, a third of them, don't vote for him this time, 25% don't vote for him this time, he's not getting reelected. I don't care what you say.
All right, CNBC's Jim Cramer was on Meet the Press.
He came out and panicked the heck out of us. He talked about the higher interest rates for mortgages. He talked the spiking credit card. He talked about how hard it's going to be to get a student loan. It took us all aback because we felt that he'd be a compromise leader. Instead, he created tremendous fear.
He being Obama.
Well, that's all they've been doing. That is the weaponry of the apparatchik. That is the weaponry and the language of the left. You know, if they can't beat you with facts, 2 and 2 is 4, and if you won't accept 2 and 2 is 5, then they beat you down with calumnious attacks and fear challenges like this guy's doing it. This guy is the boss when it comes to this stuff. This is where it comes from. You're looking at the seat of destruction. This guy is a licentious reprobate. He is a guy who lucked out with the aid of the press and an over-sympathizing country who had no guidance in terms of how to solve the George Bush problem. Yeah, they hated George Bush, and for a lot of reasons that I agree with. But the overriding fact is that they elected the wrong guy, and now they're going to pay for it.
Straight ahead, we continue here. 800-336-2225. You want to talk to Fred Dryer, the great Fred Dryer, saving the country, watching out for us on CRN, the PM show.